Kenneth Deck was born in Hershey, Pennsylvania on September 26, 1955. Kenneth Deck was one of 5 children in the Deck household growing up. His father, Robert Deck, Jr., was a truck driver while his mother, Arlene Deck, was a homemaker. During Kenneth Deck's childhood, he described himself as your typical country boy.
Probably your typical country boy. I played some Little League baseball until my high school years, and then after that, during high school, I worked on a farm. At that time, at that age, I called it work. Today, it was play. I know that, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed doing things with my hand. I enjoyed the farming aspect of it.
Kenneth Deck and his brother Gary were the only 2 of his siblings to serve in the military. Gary served for 4 years in the Air Force. Before the service, Deck was still in high school. When asked about his parents' reactions, Mr. Deck said,
My parents were very supportive. They had to sign the papers for me to sign up, and they gladly did.
However, as a kid, Mr. Deck did not envision himself joining the Air Force. When he was asked about why he joined the Air Force, he said,
Probably not in my earliest years, but once I hit my teens, and like I said, my brother inspired me to join up because of what he did. So I would say around 13, 14 years old, I was pretty well set. That's what I wanted to do.
When Kenneth Deck deported from boot camp, he described his emotions on the first day as scary.
Well, the initial day that we got there was very scary at the time. Like I said, I was only 17 and a half, and there was a huge lightning storm going through. And naturally, in basic training, the instructors do a lot of yelling and screaming, and everybody's scared to death, and lack of sleep and all the other good stuff. So it was interesting.
Deck was also adamant that his instructors were very professional and took their job very seriously. He also added that the toughest part of his training was the basic training.
Probably the toughest part in the beginning was basic training, but as far as, I wouldn't say the rest of the training I got throughout the years was tough, just challenging, which in order to learn, it has to be challenging.
Deck also received specialized training for his job in heavy equipment operating, and later on in his career for effective writing and speech.
After going through with his basic and specialized training, Deck began his career as a heavy equipment operator. He was stationed at many bases including Kadena Air Force Base in Okinawa, Omaha, Nebraska, and in Fort Indiantown Gap. He joined the Air National Guard while at Fort Indiantown Gap. Some of Deck's duties in the beginning as a heavy equipment operator were mostly informal training, but in 1988 he was chosen to be a heavy equipment instructor for the Regional Equipment Training School at Fort Indiantown Gap. While being a heavy equipment operator, Deck had many duties to handle. He did a lot of training, but he also did many repairs. He described a normal repair as very in-depth, but went on to say that it was a very tedious job to do, that required a lot of focus and concentration. Deck also said that running the equipment wasn't difficult once he knew the basics, and that his favorite equipment to run was the bulldozer.
Probably the bulldozer, and because it was the most challenging. It wasn't something that you could do just by looking out the windshield. You had to feel what it was doing. So to me, that was the most challenging piece of equipment to operate.
Although Deck did many normal repairs to a runway, he also had to deal with the emotions of a rapid runway repair, which was different. Mr. Deck knew that there was just a different feeling to a rapid runway repair.
It was important, very important. It was one of them jobs that you hope you never had to do, because if you had to do it, that meant the enemy hit your runway at your base.
When questioned about dealing with the emotions of rapid runway repair, Deck said,
Well, you just didn't think about the big picture at that time. When you were doing that task, you just focused on the little picture, and that was your task, whatever it may be. Because when you're doing rapid runway repair, it's not just you. You have a team of about 75 people involved. So everybody's got to do their own steps for everybody else's steps to follow through at the proper times.
Adapting to military life for Ken Deck was a little bit different. He missed his friends and family the most because they were such a large part of his life growing up. It was also tough to keep in touch with his family very much because they did not have cell phones or email for quick replies, so it took months to reach back and forth to each other through mail. Living conditions were not bad for Deck. He had 2 people to a bathroom and 1 person to a bedroom. While in Okinawa, the lowest temperature he experienced was 72 degrees, so on Christmas Day he went swimming. That was one of the ways that Deck spent the holidays, but normally until he was a married man, he spent the holidays working, so the married men could go back to their families back home, which he did not mind doing for them at all. While off duty for recreation, he spent most of his time working on cars and doing other mechanical operations. In Texas, he also got involved with coaching Little League Baseball and was in a bowling league. During Kenneth Deck's career, he has many memories, but one sticks out to him specifically.
Favorite memory while I was in the Air Force, there's so many of them. Uh, I was blessed to have the career I had. I really enjoyed my job. So to narrow it down to just one item, it's probably the day that I made Chief Master Sergeant. It was a long road, challenging road, but well worthwhile.
He also made many friendships that still stick with him today, including friendships back in 1973. He also remembers the day that he got the Air Force Commendation Medal that he received twice for training civil engineers to learn how to do wartime tasks in a competition scenario. After deciding to retire in November of 2011 because it was time to move on for Deck, Deck has since still tried to readjust to civilian life.
I guess I'm still adjusting. I've only been retired about 7 years now, and I still miss it. I miss wearing the uniform. I miss my job because I was very fortunate to have a job that I really enjoyed. So the hardest part to adjust to is that I'm not in charge anymore when I go different places. And it's not that I enjoyed leading people and managing programs, and I don't get to do that anymore.
When he came back home, he was welcomed with open arms. As he remembers, he was thrown a party, and his dad barbecued hamburgers until 2 o'clock in the morning. Deck also believes that he's still supported very well throughout his community.
While in the military, Deck learned many things. He learned the ideas and practices of leadership, mentoring, and management. He also learned that it is very important to listen to your subordinates and take the information that they gave you to make the best decisions that you can. The military has also impacted his philosophies of war.
War is something that we practice for, but we never want to do. But we always want to be prepared. And no matter what you do in life, you want to get yourself as prepared as you can for the next day. But war, again, it's not something we want to do, but you got to prepare for it.
He also adds inspiring words to future generations.
My message to other generations is do your best. Be honest. Excellence in all that you can do. Be committed to what you do. Go home at the end of the day, whether it's your job or your school, proud to know that you gave your day 100%.
Over Kenneth Deck's 40-year career in the Air National Guard and the Air Force, he chose the path of a heavy equipment operator for good reason.
The heavy equipment operator field just fit me. I always liked playing in a sandbox when I was a kid, and I liked farming, so that's dirt. And as a heavy equipment operator, you got to dig holes, you got to backfill holes, you got to drive dump trucks, actually tractors and trailers to haul the equipment around. So it kind of fit what I was doing as a kid already. And today yet, even at the schoolhouse out at the Gap, we call it the sandbox. All right, students, let's go to the sandbox.
Since retirement, Kenneth Deck took time off and has done work around the house. He also drove dump truck for 5 years and now does a little bit of construction work and some forklift operating for a trucking company. He's also a member of the American Legion of Licksdale. When asked if he would do his military service all over again, if he could, he said,
I would gladly do it all over again. Again, because I felt that what I was doing was right. I enjoyed my time. I was, again, very fortunate to have the leadership I did throughout my career. They made me the person I am today. They helped me grow, helped me learn, and it's an honor to serve your nation.
We We would like to thank Kenneth Deck for his service. 40 years in the military is such a dedication to our country, and we couldn't have been more pleased to share your incredible story.